How's it going, everybody? It's Space Cowboy 17 here. Welcome back to the channel. In this one, we have to discuss how can the Cowboys make the Dak Prescott offense more friendly. Now, for those that don't know, Dak Prescott is what I call a facilitator, and people may say, what the heck does that mean? For those that don't know, I categorize and pretty much organize as well quarterbacks based on their play style. There are three play styles that I notice in quarterbacks. Yes, you could say more, but you got the gunslingers like Wentz, Roethlisberger, etc. You got the facilitators like Dak Prescott, Tom Brady, and then you have the game managers like Alex Smith and Andy Dalton. Now, granted, you can argue that certain quarterbacks can go into other tiers, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to analyze what the heck do the Cowboys have to do to make this offense more Dak friendly. So let's get into step one. Step one is to provide Dak Prescott with more friendly receivers. And you might be saying, well, what does that even mean? Let me explain. With Dak Prescott's playing style of being a facilitator, he doesn't look to consistently air out the ball deep or try to force it into certain positions. Dak is going to open to whoever's open and create separation. That is why Dak needs receivers that can do three of the following things I'm about to list. Number one, they can create separation. Number two, they can run any route on the route tree or something around those lines. And number three, they got to be speedy, or they have to have a way to pretty much, again, create separation. I hate to pretty much double down on what I just said, but it's true. Dak Prescott cannot function properly without those kinds of receivers. And you might be asking, well, what do you mean? Dak Prescott has a top receiver in Dez Bryant. He's got Terrence Williams. He's got Cole Beasley. I think he should do fine. He just sucked this year. Well, newsflash, Dak Prescott could not do well towards the latter part of the season. Why? Because the way he plays could not be done properly. Dak Prescott uses the run to help his play style elevate. Now you might be saying, well, then that makes Dak look like a product of the offensive line and Zeke Elliott, blah, blah, blah. Well, no, that's not how it actually goes down. The thing is that every quarterback performs much better when they're not the number one option of the offense. Yes, there are quarterbacks that can be like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, etc., that can be the focal point of the offense. Why? Because they're experienced quarterbacks. Dak's going to be in his third year, and he obviously still has much learning to do as going into his, I believe he's going to be 25 years old. So he's very young, and considering he's leading the most profitable franchise in the NFL and the world, sports franchise, I should say, of course he's going to have some troubles, people. And clearly this season definitely showed that the Cowboys need to help him out. So what can we also do? So like I mentioned about getting better receivers for Dak Prescott to fit his playstyle, another thing is run the ball. This has been a very paramount part of Dak Prescott's development, is being able to use his feet and his ability to run and create plays through, whether that be through passing it on the run, do play action passes, bootlegs, you name it. That is Dak's bread and butter. You do not need to make him become this pocket passer. Don't get me wrong, he can be a pocket passer in some instances, but that's not his bread and butter. You would never have someone work in a position that they don't feel comfortable in doing well, unless you're Scott Linehan and Jason Garrett. But anywho, getting back to what I'm trying to, pretty much preach about, is running the football and establishing a dominant run game, whether that be through Zeke, Rod Smith, or whoever else. Keeping the ball on the ground will help Dak Prescott tremendously, considering he has running ability. Not only that, he has ability to run and create passing plays, bootlegs, you name it. I can go on and go talk in circles. Again, run the football. And finally, number 3, call common sense plays or improve play calling, whatever you want to call it. The truth of the matter is that none of the other 2 parts to this entire soliloquy I'm making does not matter unless the players are going through schemes that fit their play style. For example, the reason why Dak Prescott had such a tremendous year last year was because the offensive scheme catered to him in the sense that dominant run game, and if the run game wasn't necessarily working, we do play action passes and we try to mix up route running. You get what I'm trying to get at? The point is that if Dak wants to continue to be successful, or rather the Cowboys want to contend for a Super Bowl or future playoff spots, they need to improve play calling on the offensive side of the ball, because at the end of the day, Dak Prescott, as a facilitator and a guy that distributes the ball, is not going to be able to run a gunslinger's offense, because that's not going to work. Plain and simple. How could I, for example, I'll bring up a great example. Why would you put me in a job where I have no idea how to utilize certain tools or certain functions of a program, whatever that may be, if I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't feel comfortable doing this because I just can't grasp it? I'm not trying to, compare Dak to being an idiot, having low football IQ, because he definitely has high football IQ. The problem is that he cannot function unless he has solid play calling, a dominant run game, and even if it isn't dominant, just at least a running game of some sorts. And not only that, receivers that actually can create separation. I'm looking at you, Dez. I'm looking at you, T-Will. And look, I'm not trying to say that these receivers can't possibly change their mold, but considering that they've done what they've done for the past couple of seasons throughout their career, for them to change now would probably be difficult. It's like teaching someone a different language when they're older rather than when they're younger. Of course, it's going to be harder for you to grasp the concept of the language because you're already comfortable with what you're doing now. Same thing with football. Learning a playbook is like learning a language. Pretty much, you're going to have plays, you're going to have different audibles, etc. If the audibles and the playbook does not fit your mold, of course you're not going to do well in it. Now, I'm not trying to also dismiss things that Dak has done, like how he has happy feet in the pocket sometimes. He sometimes doesn't follow through with his throws. He was inaccurate for some points in the season. I can't deny that, and yes, he needs to work on that. But can you fully blame him for the fact that his receivers get no separation? He's forced to pretty much force it into triple, double coverage, you name it, and make plays by himself using his legs. Clearly, there are games this season where he definitely shined. Remember, early on in the season, he had 2 games in a row where he had 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing. So you can see that Dak Prescott can definitely be that guy if he's capable of having a system that fits his mold. So the priority of this season, yes, we do need to also shore up the defense, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter if the offense can't score points and can only get field goals. Plain and simple, guys. I don't want to keep talking in circles. I hate if I reiterated myself multiple times, but I gotta stress these points I'm making. And I'm doing this freestyle in terms of recording. I don't want to do a script because I want to talk to you guys as authentic as possible. So, if you guys made it to the end of this video, make sure that you like and subscribe because you guys are truly the real MVP. And with that being said, I hope you guys have the best rest of your day whenever you're seeing this, and I will be seeing you guys later. Bye-bye.